Hey everyone, I just wanted to put together this video to talk about the year and what we've been through, even a short history of the Challenge Club before this year, and then also talk about what is going to be coming up, exciting new changes for next year. So first of all, let's just start with a short history because many of you haven't been around that long, and so maybe you don't even know how the Challenge Club got started and kind of what the values are for the club. So it was about 2012 when I started doing some challenges on my blog at the time, and it was just soap makers who were following me at the time, and we just did a fun technique. Started out weekly, actually. I would put out a video on Sunday and they would post their results on Saturday, and we'd just do it every week for, I don't know, just like 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. And it wasn't until 2013 that I had this idea to come up with the Challenge Club as it is right now as a monthly challenge and get sponsors involved and have everybody vote on winners and all of that fun stuff. And so I've been doing the challenges pretty consistently since then. I did take some time off in 2018, I believe it was, to do some contract manufacturing, but came back and decided, nope, this is really what I love to do. So then some crazy things happened last year. I got diagnosed with breast cancer and decided that I would continue to do the challenges through treatment as much as I could, and I got some wonderful support from the members, and May was especially amazing as everybody did a secret challenge. I woke up after my mastectomy surgery and there were all these beautiful soaps that you guys had made, and it was truly just heartwarming and meant a whole lot to me, and you guys still mean the world to me. I love all of you and the support that you've given me through this battle, and I'm so happy to be able to say I'm cancer free, I'm finished with treatments, the port is out, and I look forward to just being healthy and stronger every day. So that part is such a relief. But 2020's been crazy for everybody, obviously. I mean, worldwide, we've all seen it. And so during quarantine, I know a lot of people picked up some soap pots and figured out how to make some soap. And so we've seen a lot of brand new soap makers in the club this year, which is super exciting. So I did a lot of breaking up the categories by beginner and experienced. And so we kind of finished out the year with about 3 of those in a row, I think it was. So I wanted to do a survey, and I sent it out to the people who'd been participating most recently just to get some feedback on how you feel the challenges are going and, you know, what we can do for next year. And I got some really great responses. So some of this is in response to those the survey questions. And so here's what's coming up for 2021. A lot of people requested that we do a third category, like an intermediate, because it was kind of a big jump to go from beginner to experienced. And unfortunately, I don't think that's probably the best option. First and foremost, because if we have 3 competitive categories, you've just increased the amount of prizes that one sponsor has to take on. And generally, a sponsor likes to take on one challenge, like the entire challenge, so that they get the most exposure. And so I don't think that that's going to be a great way to move forward. So instead, I would like to go back to doing a different division of categories, keep it at 2 competitive categories, definitely keep the bonus category. We use that as the place where you can put your entries that maybe don't fit the guidelines and you just want to do something creative, or you just want to show off your work without being judged. So that's why we're going to keep the bonus category. We will divide it up the categories in different ways. Either we'll have two different techniques that are similar that will be the two different ones, or we may have just a regular and advanced, and you get to choose which one you would like to do. And we'll still throw in the beginner and experienced categories every once in a while as well. So we'll just be changing it up. And that should give us plenty of options and hopefully make things interesting. Another thing that people always question is about voting and how you can kind of see whose entries are whose, and maybe there's some popularity votes going in there. And so I just wanted to address that because it comes up every time I have a survey. And so one of the main reasons why we don't have it completely blind, in other words, you can see entries on social media and you can find out whose soap it is because it's a learning experience first and foremost. And so without having links to how the soap was made or process or any of that, it becomes really difficult to judge the soaps. Not only for you as a voter, but also for me as I'm checking to make sure that the soap is within the guidelines. So it's really difficult not to have that extra link and to look at that stuff. So then the question is, well, why couldn't we do it afterwards? Well, again, I can't really check the soaps to make sure it's within the guidelines. And most of the time I can tell just from the photo, but sometimes it really helps to have those process photos and things in there too. And honestly, I'm not sure many people are going to look after the challenge is over. It's like we have this big hype going on during the challenge, but then once it's over, then we kind of move on to the next one. So those are kind of the reasons why I really like to have that extra link in there so that you can share more information about your soap. Anyway, that being said, we are going to attempt a truly blind challenge in March. And I'm not going to tell you too much about it except that it's going to be a theme challenge. So it's not going to matter how you made your soap, but it'll just have to show, it'll be within a certain theme. So there aren't going to be any names. There aren't going to be any links. You're not going to be allowed to share anything on any social media until the challenge is truly over. So we are going to do that experiment and we'll see how it goes. Also, I have some new sponsors lined up for 2021 that I think you will be very excited to see. And another thing that I'm working on is figuring out how to do subtitles on my videos so that they are translatable. So far, I think YouTube is the only platform where that works. The problem is having my videos on YouTube, but making it so that only the members who paid for the challenge can access them. So that's where I'm at right now, but I'm working on it. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is putting together a list of tools that we use that will be highly recommended for everybody to have if you're going to participate in the challenges on any sort of regular basis. That way you are prepared and you have everything that you need ahead of time. On a rare occasion, we'll have something unique that you might need, but we'll try to get that information out to you ahead of time so that you have plenty of time to gather whatever it is that you need. I also wanted to let you know that I have added Stripe as a payment option now, so you don't have to just use PayPal. You can enter your credit card information directly into the Stripe platform, and so hopefully that will address a few of the countries that are unable to use PayPal. Also, there is going to be a slight price increase for the 1-year access to past tutorials starting in 2021. So as you know, every time we do a challenge, I add another tutorial to that access, and we're up into the 50-something amount of tutorials in there. It's a lot of information. So if you want to get in on the current price, it's now $89.95. I will increase it to $99.95 starting in 2021. So just so you know. I'm also going to be working on reorganizing the 1-month access to past tutorials so that I can decrease the price on that a little bit, but you won't have access to all of them at the same time. So more information on that coming. And then finally, I think the best news of all is that we are going to have some ladies helping with the Challenge Club, and we are going to call them our bubble support. These are ladies that have been participating in the challenge in the past, and so they know how it works, but they will no longer be competing, they will no longer be voting. They will, however, be making the technique ahead of time and just letting you guys know maybe some tips or things that they learned as they made it, so that going into the challenge we have even more people who can give you advice and help along the way. They're going to be available via Facebook Messenger if you have questions. And so without further ado, I'm just going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name's Lisa Cunningham. I live in the UK and I've been a member of the Soap Challenge Club for about 18 months now. It's really exciting that you've decided to join us at the Challenge Club. You're going to find a huge range of experience here, right from people who've made no more than a few bars of soap up to some wonderfully talented soapers who leave you in awe with pretty well everything that they make. So you're sure to find a nice place where you fit in somewhere. Now, although the Challenge Club is based around the idea of a competition, the main aim is to improve your soaping skills, and that will happen, and above all, to have fun. So if you've got any questions or queries or you're worried about anything, then do make sure that you contact one of us, and we're going to be more than happy to help you out and give you lots of support.
My name is Eva Gomez. I come from Spain, but I live in Germany. I started making soap 3 years ago, and I joined the club 18 months ago, and my skills have developed very well. I'm very happy with the soap challenges because I have learned so much. I'm very happy to be able to assist you with any questions you should have. You can talk to me in Spanish, English, and German. Thanks so much.
Hello, I'm Diane Eddington. I live in Lenexa, Kansas, just down the road from Amy Warden. I've been making soap for a couple of years now and participating in the Soap Challenge Club for just about a year. I was really nervous about participating in my first challenge. I had seen all the beautiful soaps and I thought, there is no way that I can do that. But the Soap Challenge Club is a huge learning opportunity, and it's a super fun group and a great way to share ideas and inspiration. So I hope you'll join us, and we're here to help support you and answer any questions you may have. Happy soaping!
Hi everyone, my name is Belinda Williams and I live in Vancouver, Canada. My first soap challenge was around 5 years ago, soon after I began in my soap making journey. Not only is it a wonderful way to hone your skills, but it's a great opportunity to connect with other soap makers as we all learn together. I'm so excited that you're here and even more excited to see what you create. So if you have any questions or need any help, feel free to get in touch with the support team. We're here for you.
So I hope all of this information gets you excited for the 2021 challenges, and I will be revealing the techniques tomorrow with the winner's announcement for the December challenge, and you'll have a chance to register for 4 months at a time starting on January 4th, or you can just register for January only. That's always an option. And these ladies are committed to being a part of these first 4 months of challenges, and then we'll see what happens from there. So, looking forward to seeing you guys back in the Challenge Club in January.